Guys, today it might be the best one we've done yet. It's going to be a fun call. We're going to do some cool shout outs. So we got Ashley's on, Sandeep's on, and Keith. Got those guys on. Yeah, and then it's really cool. So I'll tell you about this right now. I'll tease it. So we had this lender we just closed on this house. It's actually a mobile home. And the lender is like, evidently someone told, I'm not sure how they got tipped that we bought the house, and they want to talk and they got some issues. So I'm like, you know what? Rather than me troubleshooting this now, let's book this for Friday and we'll do it live on the call. So I think it'd be pretty cool. I've only done this one other time, and it didn't go as smooth as maybe if you've heard of stories from Pace. Usually you just talk to the lender and you're like, hey, what do you want to do here? And that's how I hope it goes down today. I'm just going to be like, hey, so we want to buy this trailer. I want to catch up the payments. I want to pay off your loan. How do you want to proceed, basically? So anyway, we'll see how that goes, but I'm excited to do it live with you guys, and hopefully it'll be, I don't know, I haven't seen too many. Yeah, I've never seen that done live. And have you guys ever seen that in Sub 2? Somebody actually just call live a bank and work through a Sub 2 deal, or work through a due on sale? Cool. Should be fun. Awesome. All right, we got Anthony coming in. Go ahead, Chimney, what's going on, man? How you doing? You got your hand raised?
Good, Casey, how are you?
Good.
Are we still good to talk to that lead that I spoke to? Okay. I think she's for 30 minutes from now, 9:30 with PSC. So
you got her 9:30. Okay. So go ahead.
Do you have the bank phone?
Yeah, I had them at 9. Yeah, at 11. So in 30 minutes or 25 minutes, does she want to go before, or is she cool pivoting a little bit? Honestly, I bet even at 45 after the hour would probably work.
Okay. I know she has a call at an hour after that. So so I guess 12:45 for you.
Yes.
Yeah. She has a call at 12:45. So maybe we could do at the top of the hour at 12 at noon your time.
Noon? Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, that'll give us plenty of cushion. Man, we got a jam pack for you guys today. Yep. Chimney we had a call earlier this week about his lead, and we were kind of talking through some scenarios, and we're like, man, this is another good one to be able to call live. So appreciate you guys. Like, it's pretty cool as we start to get these teed up and planned. They can be really valuable. So I'm just going to kind of check out the audience, who all we got coming in so far. Anybody, and I'm going to pull up the chat. Anybody new? Anybody their first time? If so, throw your name in the chat. I'd love to see who's new this week from Sub 2, or new to Sub 2, but new to Problems to Profits. Cool. Looks like we got it. All right, cool. Patrick, looks like Patrick is new. Cool. Awesome, man. Thanks, Patrick. Welcome in. Good to see you, Patrick. So today, the quick summary, I always try to give a quick breakdown in case somebody's new. Zoom is meant to you guys to bring deals that you're stuck on, any problem you're having, anything real estate related, bring your problems. We're going to help solve them. What we do a lot of, and what I think is most effective, is when you bring like direct to agent deals, direct to seller deals where you're stuck. Any point you're stuck, and we call them live. And the best and most helpful thing is like Chimney did today. He scheduled his lead so I can call him at 12 o'clock. So we're going to call them. We're going to work through that. You guys are going to see it live in real time. And then, as mentioned, you guys, today might be the best episode ever, because we're going to call a bank that I'm actually working with, and I'm going to work through the due on sale problem, which may be one of the biggest problems you could solve. All right. But today, hold on. Yeah. Before we go there, anybody else new coming in today? I'm going to get something pulled while we're doing that. If anybody else want to see who else is new, I'm also going to pull up something on my screen. Cool. Well, all right. I'm going to start sharing my screen. So we're going to bring up, this is a cool thing we're going to do every week. I kind of teased it last week. Before I go there, let me share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. So what I want to do every week is highlight some of you guys, because you guys are helping. I mean, I love showing up every week, but I want to continue to bring more and more value to you guys and bring more value to more people. So the first one to go in today is going to be Sandeep. I'm just going to give him the floor for a second, introduce himself, because Sandeep has done a really good job of bringing people to the Zoom. Like me and him had a conversation. He's like telling me about 2 or 3, probably more people that he's brought in. And they're like, man, as soon as they came to this Zoom, they got a lot of value. So I appreciate him doing that. I appreciate people sharing posts, stuff on Facebook, because the more people know about it, like today, man, I was scrambling. I'm still working all my leads and we got a big promotion we're doing this weekend, and still trying to get the word out there to tell people. Like, for example, today's call, when we call the due on sale clause, like, to me, no one's doing that. And I just want to help out more people. But anyway, it's people like Sandeep and people like Ashley and all you other guys that are helping share the word and help get more people onto this call. So Sandeep, I'm going to let him go first. And then the next one we're going to talk to is our deal maker of the week, Keith. And then last will be Ashley. She's going to talk about her doing some cold calling and doing some lead gen. So anyway, I'll let you come off mute, Sandeep. So Sandeep, feel free to introduce yourself. And then, yeah, man, the floor is yours for like a minute or two. Share anything you want, anything you need help with. Your chance to kind of speak to the community.
Awesome. Thanks, Casey. Hey, everybody. Yeah, my name is Sandeep Singh. I've been in Sub 2 for about, I'd say, not too long. I think about 5 months or so. I'm a software engineer by trade. I still have my W-2 that I work from home. I'm also an end buyer in the sub-2 community. My main market is Houston, Las Vegas, and some areas around California. I am an end buyer. I've been on the PMP side as well. So I have a few deals that I've partnered up and funded for. That's actually how I got started into sub-2 to begin with. That's how I was able to make a pretty good list of people that bring me deals. And actually, I came across Casey's call. I got a lot of value in it, and I kind of expressed this idea to him, because there aren't a lot of Zoom calls that kind of go through like live calls. I think there is one other one, but this one it's a little bit more where you kind of bring in, you can bring in your leads, your dead leads, or pretty much any conversation you want to have. And that's what I really like about it. It's very raw. It's live, and it brought me a lot of value. And that was the reason, I kind of reached out to a lot of my friends in sub-2 and try to get them to join as well. And everybody had a pretty good response in it. So yeah, if anybody has questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, guys, any questions for Sandeep? If not, Sandeep, go ahead and share your info in the chat. So yeah, I appreciate what Sandeep's doing. Yeah, really cool. And the best feedback I got, which I really appreciated, was he brought 3 people into it and then they enjoyed it. So Sandeep, thanks for sharing that. I think great. You exactly what I wanted. Cover anything you need help on, share your info, and you guys want us to connect with Sandeep. Now you know how.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks again, Casey. And it was nice seeing you at HostCon, man.
Yeah. Me and Sandeep got to see each other in Houston a couple weeks ago at HostCon, Rob Abasolo's. Cool. Awesome. I know Chimney's ready to connect. Hey, a couple things too, as you guys, I know Victoria's mentioning it. As you guys come into the Zoom, please update your name. I know it took me a long time to figure that out, but at least today, first thing when you log in, change it to your name so we can call you guys, and turn on your video. So I see a bunch of guys got videos on. Patrick, new to the call. Mike's got his call. Mike's the usual. Good to see you, Mike. Logan, good to see you, man. Who else? Somebody else hopped in here a second ago before I turned it over to Keith. And William Lawler, first time last week, man. Good to see you back. Did you have a good time last week? Did you get some value last week, William? You don't have to unmute, but you could send a message. Cool. And Logan, and as we mentioned. So Logan, and Aditya, hopefully I said that name correctly. Welcome in, man, out of Washington. Hey, I like too that you guys are putting in your, man, I need to do that too. Your location. That's really cool. Yeah, I think that's a great best practice. Your name, where you're from, contact info. I'm sitting here in Houston today, guys, but if you didn't know me, I invest in Wyoming and Montana. We're even doing a little bit of South Dakota. And now, thanks to Problems to Profits, we're doing deals across the country, which is a perfect lead in for Keith. We've been working a couple deals in Georgia, now one in Florida. Keith has done a good job of the first. I remember the first lead he brought was a direct to agent one. We talked about it. We worked that deal. Man, that deal is circled around almost 3 times, and I have a feeling it's going to come around a 4th time, and then maybe we're going to get it. But it's persistence, and Keith has been persistent in working deals. Me and Keith have been working corresponding on Boxer, but anyway, our deal maker of the week, Keith, turn it over to you, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, Keith Hoover, live in Atlanta, Georgia, originally from North Carolina, and I've been doing direct-to-agent approach using the LOI Blaster tool. Some of you may be using that. That's been my main source to generate leads, and it's been really good working with Casey. Casey's been really good, just kind of guiding me through some of the things. I just kind of bounce off some of the ideas off of him, and he just kind of gives an idea of what he's thinking, and actually was able to get on the phone with the agent for this particular deal. The very first time we actually did a Zoom call on a Saturday morning at 8 Eastern with the agent and the seller, and still didn't get the deal that time, but it continues to come back around. And matter of fact, Casey, I don't know if you checked your text message just before we started here. She's texted us again, and it could be coming back to us. I don't know. All in all, man, it's been really good. I can't thank Casey enough just for kind of helping me through some of the challenges also. So yeah, it's just been good. I think the main thing is, man, it's helping me to get over my fear of just making offers, right? Making offers and have the conversations, and the follow-up. Follow-up is key. That's the big thing that I've learned. That's the thing that I've been working on, and it's showing and proving that follow-up is key. There's some other ones that I offered on over a month ago that have come back and asking questions here and there. So it's just all about keeping in touch, essentially. Yeah.
Man, cool. Well, Keith, throw all your information in there. Let's just highlight that again. Keith nailed it. The follow-up, right? We've literally, case in point, this deal we've been working, and it's like, this house was built in like 2021. We're taking it over to good payment. Like it looks like a great sub-2 deal. We could have given up after the first time, and it was frustrating. Me and Keith were like, we spent a bunch of time working with this lady, giving everything she needed. We probably spent several hours trying to get this agent and communicating, thought we had good rapport. All of a sudden she's like, hey, we want somebody new. And we're like, and again, it was like, you guys got to think of the long term. I think this community is great about that. Don't think short term. I'm like, I wanted to be like, are you kidding me? After all that, you didn't even give us a shot. And I was frustrated, right? But I bit my tongue and I'm like, you know what? It's okay. When this comes back around, please reach out. So she did that again. Second time, still lost it. And even the third time, like, again, I think, I can't remember if I had the message sent out because I was so sick and tired of this. By the third time, I'm like, please just communicate, give us a chance, right? Anyway, then I deleted my message and I'm like, all right, be a little bit more soft. Anyway, and like Keith said, literally this morning, it's circling back around. So being persistent, guys, playing the long game. I'll tell you that in tons of deals and tons of really going direct to seller, people are going to do things that irritate you, but just let it go. You guys have seen me on calls, right? When these agents or these people swear at me or do whatever, it's like, whatever, you get used to it. And if you can be calm, I'm just telling you, it comes back around just like anything. What you give, you get back. When you're patient like this, I feel like karma comes back around in many ways. So Keith, appreciate what you're doing, man. Cool. Go ahead and share. If you haven't yet, share your info, Keith, in the chat there. So, all right, cool. Now, last but not least, Ashley. Ashley, I could have picked Ashley for all three of these. She's brought deals. She has brought people to the community. But Ashley, one of the coolest things she's done is she's jumped into a really cool thing we're doing. And if you guys are new to this call, let's say that you're not like Keith and you're not doing the LOI blaster and you're not going direct to agents. Maybe like I know Mike's been bringing deals. Who else? A lot of different people who are bringing deals. But if you don't have a deal, that's okay. We've got what we created is I've got basically this sign up, and I'm going to show you the link in a second. But this is one thing that Ashley's done is we got this sign up, and you can go sign. Basically, you could start cold calling. And so Ashley and I think we've got up to almost 15 students I'm providing you guys a list, and one of our lists that I'm marketing to and letting you guys go cold call and start getting reps, right? Because we talk about this all the time. The more you start talking, the more people you talk to, you'll get comfortable. Anytime when you guys see me talking on the phone, I know it seems like, oh, wow, I'm never going to be able to talk like that. Well, guys, I have no sales background. I'm an engineer. Like when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I told this, I promise I'm coming to Ashley, but I'm going to be like Pace for a second and just go on a rant. But so when I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad in 2016, I was an engineer driving in the field. I was a math guy. I always thought of myself as like a math mind, but I always like to hustle, right? But I read that book and he talks about doing door-to-door sales, and that's how like he got good at sales. And I'm like, man, I have no idea how to, like, I remember the vacuum deal door-to-door sales people that came by my house when I was growing up, but like I've never done sales and I didn't think of myself as doing sales. But as I grew over the years and started doing it, I actually found out this is like my superpower, and I love selling and I love doing it. But I mean, there's some natural parts of it, but the biggest thing is reps, guys. I talk to sellers all the time and have thought through a ton of different situations. So the more reps you guys get, even if it feels like a complete waste of time, if you guys just start talking to sellers, asking good questions, building rapport, you'll get better. So I think you guys know that, but I just wanted to reinforce it. Anyway, now as promised, let's turn it over to Ashley. Introduce yourself. And the floor is yours.
Hey guys, I am Ashley. I have been in Sub2 for about 2 years now, and my main focus is direct to agent. But after coming to the Problems to Profit Zoom, after Casey had offered like a list to call, I was so excited because I don't do a lot of direct to seller, and that's what these lists are. And so I was like, I'm going to take full advantage of this opportunity. And then I thought it was really cool that Casey provides the list that he's marketing to, but then he gives you the opportunity to take it as far as you can. I mean, you can take it all the way to the end, or you can just have the first initial phone call, and then you have him and his team to like fully lean into if you get stuck in any way. So I love this opportunity, and I'm so thankful that Casey was able to have this as an option for everybody in the community. I'm currently calling on 2 of your list, Casey. And so it's not like it's just one motivation. He has different lists with different motivations. And so he gives you the opportunity to go in and take a look at and pick what you're calling. So I'm very thankful. I've had great conversations with both lists that I'm calling. And just like you said, it's all about reps. The more you call, the more comfortable you get. And then just the more reps you get in, the deeper and deeper you get into the conversation. So yeah, I didn't even tell you where I was. So I'm from Texas, but I actually live in Georgia.
Ashley, what part of Texas again?
I'm from a small town called Lavernia, which is outside, like maybe 35, 40 minutes outside of San Antonio.
Outside of San Antonio. Nice. I remember the first lead you brought us in Fort Worth, and I'm like, hey, that looks like a good house, especially at that price point. But anyway,
That's been cool too, because I've had a few deals that I didn't think that would go anywhere. And even though they didn't, but I was able to bring them in and we took a deeper dive and we had a different approach. And there was options that could have worked for the lead that I didn't think that was going to go anywhere. So that was really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks, Ashley. And drop your contact info. And yeah, I think Ashley said it well. You guys, it's what you guys want to make of it. If you want to start calling the list, like I said, I did this because, and I talked to Pace about it when we were first framing up this Zoom. I'm like, I want to be able to I want to meet you guys at whatever level you're at, right? So if you guys are able to call, I'm glad Ashley said that. Like, you guys take it as far as you want. There's several different things I'm going to highlight here where I want to help you guys either close your deals, help you with cold calling, or maybe we're JVing on that. But what we do is I use this Voxer app. It's similar to WhatsApp. I just like the voice feature of it because it helps me keep up with things. And I can listen. If Ashley sends me a message, I can listen to it on 2 or 3x speed and zoom through it when I'm driving. And I like to catch up with a lot of stuff. It's just a lot better than the iPhone app because you can go faster. But anyway, what we'll do is like Ashley, for example, we've got several chats with Ashley. We've got a couple deals that we're working with her, just like me and Keith have one. Me and Anthony, I see Anthony there, man. Me and Anthony got like 4 deals we're working at a time. So anyway, we'll add you to Voxer. And then for 2 things, we can track the deals and then I put my team on there. That way, again, I acknowledge that I can't keep up with all this, but I want to be able to help you guys. And if you meet Judith for my team, she's awesome. She's the one that really helps me with acquisitions and she'll help you. But where I was going with that is Ashley mentioned, take it as far as you want, right? If you just, wherever you get stuck, reach out for help. But also if you're a little bit more advanced, like I don't want to, for example, I think Anthony's been doing some calls. I got some other guys who are a little bit more advanced. Like, you guys can go as far as you want. Like, heck, you could be negotiating and making the offer and then come to me like, hey, Casey, we've made an offer. We've gone back and forth. This is where we're at. Like, take it as far as you want it. Appreciate you doing that, Ashley. And you're doing a great job. Ashley's calling our multifamily list one of my favorite ones. The last thing I'll say on that is I love the multifamily ones because Ashley is actually doing some what I call hunting, right? She's trying to go find these people. She's using Facebook, not just like, because anybody can go skip trace for like 10 cents a lead, right? And you can go get a bunch of phone numbers. But where you find the best deals is you go and find, for example, multifamily. We go in there and we figure out who's the LLC owner. We go to the Secretary of State website, try to cross-check it. And there's a bunch of different things we can do. Or we go to Facebook. I mean, people do this on the like pre-foreclosure list. The harder it is to find the information, typically the better the lead is. But anyway, Ashley's been doing some hunting, trying to hunt down these multifamily owners because we're buying a lot of multifamily stuff in Wyoming and Montana. But cool. Any questions, guys? Good. All right, cool. So a couple other announcements and we're going to be calling bank and work through this sub 2 deal. But I got a couple more quick things to go over. I promised Victoria. Let me share my screen really quick with you guys again. If you guys have probably seen this on Sub 2, the No One Left Behind challenge. So I want to encourage you guys to go sign up for this. Pace is really pushing to get everybody involved in this. I think it's an awesome job. We talked about newbies and cold calling. Like, this is another great resource to go get involved. And also, you might be a closer. So I'll be honest with you guys. I signed up to be one of the closers because I love helping. I get to have this Zoom, but it's still fun to connect with people who maybe aren't getting here and help them close deals. So my involvement is I'm going to be able to help close deals. You're going to be able to come in and it sounds like you're going to be using Prop AI and other tools to go basically book appointments for a closer. So anyway, really cool opportunity for you guys. I'll drop the link, or maybe if Victoria's on the call, I'll have her drop it in the comments, but make sure you guys get signed up for that. I think it's a cool opportunity. One of the many things about Sub 2, aside from the community and all the other value, is like, guys, I'm in a lot of different masterminds, but I haven't seen one where it gets you so involved and actually gives you like, if you get involved in this challenge, you're not only going to meet people, you're going to work deals, but you're actually going to take action, because there's so many people that they go pay a bunch of money for a mastermind and then they never take action. So this challenge, I think, is a great way to do it. So I'm dropping this. This is our Problems to Profits landing page. I built this out just to make it easier for you guys to go find everything. So on this page, you can obviously get a direct link to log in each week. If you're trying to find where's the Zoom link like I am, you could at least just go to it's Problems to Profit, or it's actually, if you just type in the URL Problems to Profits like that.com, it'll pull up here. But the biggest thing I want to cover is these lists for you guys. If you scroll down here, this gives you a little highlight. But if you want to feature your deal, if you guys have any, ideally you guys schedule the lead and you schedule the appointment so I can call them actually during the call. Because I always go off this prioritized list. And this is the one we work first, right? So we're going to work this one today at noon. We're going to have a call. But anyway, if you have a lead and somebody that you want to call first, this is the priority list. You click this form, you'll go through it. You'll fill out your name, information, and all that, and then it'll come over to me, right? So that's the first form. The second one is if you guys just want to JV on a deal outside of Problems to Profits, you could fill out this one. I'm always happy to JV. Here's the list. We talked about this with Ashley. If you guys want to get on the list to start cold calling, here is the link. And then last one is if you guys just want to invest and have capital, and maybe you just want your first deal. I always say this, I tell this to all my private money lenders that eventually want to be investors and buy and hold investors. It's like, well, go invest on a deal with me, see how we do it. Because when you got that skin in the game, you're just way, way, way more invested. So if you fill out that form, that's how to get on our investors list, and we could go partner on a deal with you as a private money lender. What I don't have on this site is, I got the vault if you want to go back, but is my LOI. I've got an LOI template, which every week it seems like we bring that one back up because it's been really helpful for people. So anyway, what we're going to talk today, and I'm going to pull up my LOI template and show you how to work through it, but that's another great resource. I'll get it added to this landing page, and also I'll repost it later. But anyway, those are the kind of quick links I wanted to get you guys access to before we get started today. Okay, cool. Well, all right, so let's start to frame this deal up. I'm going to pull this up. So this is a property I've been working for a while, guys. It came into my pipeline. I sometimes wonder if I'm wasting my time trying to buy mobile homes, but they rent really well. And in this market, this is in Laramie, Wyoming, where the University of Wyoming is. And there's not enough rentals, and anything that is halfway decent, people will rent. So I'm like, if I got this thing for no money down, we just took over her loan. So the quick story is, she was behind a couple months. You guys have all heard it, right? She's behind a couple months. She has a mortgage on it. She has a trailer. Here's the thing. The trailer does not come with the land. So typically I would tell people to be a little bit, not stay away from this, but be careful when you're buying a trailer that doesn't come with the land, right? But this trailer was in good shape. And again, it was in a good market that I just went over that with you guys. So we're like, you know what? Let's go for it. We're not putting any money down. And our price, we took over her loan around, rough numbers, guys, around $35,000 is what we took over this trailer for. If we resell it, we think we can resell it for somewhere between potentially $70,000 to $90,000. So we're like, hey, it's a deal, a decent spread on it, and it was worth our time. And we figured, if all else, our goal on this is actually to do a wrap. We want to go wrap this to somebody else who can't get financing is our goal, right? But here's the thing. So they were behind on payments. We had some issues trying to get the payment set up, and we didn't go through in like an escrow company on this one because it was such a small deal. I mean, the payments only like $300 or $400 a month. We're like, let's just take over their auto pay. So I think there's been some issues with the auto pay. And here's the other thing. We were trying to, it's a small local bank, and we were trying to set up the payment side of it. So I think that's how they were alerted, is we were trying to make the payment. We couldn't get access, a whole mess, right? But anyway, the nice thing is I haven't put a bunch of money into this. I haven't actually done anything with it as far as I haven't wrapped it yet, or I haven't put a tenant in. We've been still kind of working through these kinks. But today we're going to call the bank right now here in just a second. And I'm going to bring in the seller. All right. I know I'm going fast here, guys, but something to think about is if you just call the bank on a due on sale, and I've done this before, and you don't have the actual person on the loan on the phone with you, you're not going to get any answers, right? Some of you guys are nodding your heads like, yeah, I didn't think about it the first time. I figured, hey, they'll talk to me. I'm going to make the payments. But so the first thing I'm going to do is conference in. Yes, she is ready. Her name is Serena, right? So I'm going to get Serena on the phone before we go call the bank. So Serena was the original seller. I think she's already moved to like Michigan or something.
Hello?
Hey, Serena, it's Casey Gregerson. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. Hey, thanks for texting me back. I wanted to make sure we got you, because I don't know how effective I'll be without you, because they probably won't talk to me.
Okay.
But let me go in. So I'll catch you up really quick. So I think it's between us trying to make the payments and all the confusion and I think they probably somehow, because I assume you haven't talked to them about us taking over the property, right?
No.
Okay. And that's fine. And first off, there's nothing to be nervous. I'm pretty sure it's going to go pretty easy because they just want to get paid, right? They don't want their loan to be in default. So, and we actually submitted a payment earlier this week. So that'll be one thing I'll follow up with them on. Yeah. So that's what I'm just going to call them, and I'll probably just have you make sure you verify yourself, and then you'll probably just have to give me permission to talk to him. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. His name's Zach. Have you spoke to Zach before?
Yes.
You know, okay, cool. All right. Here we go. Okay. He's not picking up. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss like an email or something. You know what? I might just Google the bank. It's A&B Bank, right? A&B?
Yeah.
Laramie, Wyoming. Okay. So let's try to maybe get connected back there. Okay, here we go. We'll try a different one.
Thank you for calling A&B Bank. This is McKenna. How can I help you?
Hey, McKenna, we had an appointment with Zach. I was just going to see if you could transfer us. I have his direct number, but he hadn't picked up. Is he in the office now?
He is. Give me just a moment. He just got back to his office. So let me transfer you over. Can I just grab a name?
Yes, ma'am. It's Casey.
Thank you, Casey. Give me just a moment.
You bet.
Thank you for holding.
Hey, Zach, it's Casey Gregerson. Hey, doing really good. Let me merge in Serena, because I know she's got to be on the phone to talk too much, right? Okay, I'll merge her in right now. Okay. Hey, Serena, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Zach, I got Serena online. Do you need to verify Serena before we get too deep or anything?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna shut my door of my office. Give me 1 second.
Not a problem.
All right. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Good?
Yeah, we're good. And Zach too, we record all, I'm calling from our business line, so I have to let everybody know we record all our calls. But anyway, go ahead. I'll let you do your verification if you need to with Serena.
Yeah, I guess I would just start by saying, finding out what information you're looking for, and then we could kind of go from there before I do any of the things. Yeah.
Okay, cool. If it's okay, Serena, I can kind of frame it up if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Okay, Zach. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think as you know, we're wanting to help out with basically Serena catching up her payments and ultimately potentially buying this property. So we wanted to kind of see, and I'm not sure who you ultimately will need to get approval from. Essentially, we want to help her take over the payments and make sure the loan is current. I guess first thing, I think there was a payment made this week, if I'm not correct. Is everything current on the loan right now?
Yeah. So we received a payment yesterday.
Okay. So everything is good to go. No, there's no late fees, or I guess the account is in good standing.
As far as loan payments go right now, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. So I guess, yeah, I mean, it's really an easy question, Zach. Do you see any issues on your end if we are making the loan payments on Serena's behalf?
Yeah, so I'll have to look at the exact wording of the loan agreement and the promissory note, but we don't let people take over loan payments, and specifically in this case we don't, because with mobile homes we do offer the service of lending on mobile homes for consumers, but we're not in the business of like doing loans on them for people to rent them out or as an investment. And so I think that's probably going to be the hurdle for us.
Got it. Oh, okay. So we need to look at your language. Do you know if your loans, I know like WCDA, for example, yeah, they're very strict on, and it says in their documents that it's only for owner occupied, but yeah, do you know basically how it's written for your guys?
Very, very similar wording. I don't know the exact wording, but yeah, like in this case for mobile homes, very specifically, they have to be owner occupied just because of what they are. We only like to do them for owner occupied.
Got it. Okay. That's very helpful, Zach. So I guess the next question is, at the end of the day, you guys want I would assume if we're talking to the president of A and B, he wants the loans to be paid off, right? You guys don't want to foreclose on anything. And then we're helping get these payments set up. So to be clear, I understand you guys aren't in the business, or you don't like to write loans and then have somebody turn around and rent them. But in this case, I guess we're just trying to find a solution where we can make sure this loan gets paid and that it's in good standing, because I'm assuming you guys don't want to take the property back. But what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, you're right. We don't want to take the property back, but at the same time, we have a loan agreement that way for a reason, and we're not really willing to budge on that much. So I don't know. I mean, so ultimately, you're looking to take it over and kind of manage it and then rent it out. Is that?
Yeah, or we might live in it, right? Too, or we do a lot of different things, right? I might keep it as a rental. I might even just turn around and have somebody else who wants to buy it and take over the loan. But as you know, rates, like, I'll just be honest with you, the only way this works is if we take over the current loan, right? If we go with current rates and we have to go get a new loan and new interest rates and all that. I mean, if we go that route, being honest with you, you're probably going to end up having to foreclose and it'd be a mess, right? So anyway, I'm just trying to find a solution. I get it. You guys have rules, and I know it's a bank, right? You guys have a lot of different things you got to follow, but ultimately I'm just trying to find a good solution for everybody. I don't want to create a bunch of work for you or us.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the foreclosure, so Serena, I don't know if you wanted to jump in if you're still on, but
Yeah, I'm still here.
would you just be willing to just sell it outright? Because that would really be the best plan for this.
Sell it outright.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
or
to clarify, it's really based on the value, right? And you probably know if you're looking at loan value and what these things are worth. Zach, sorry to interrupt, but that's where she's kind of in a bind, right? Like, she didn't have the money. Okay, I'll be honest with you. If she tried to sell it outright and she was behind on her payments, she probably wouldn't have had enough money to come, just based on what these things will sell for. And the fact that it doesn't come with the land. I mean, we looked at it hard, right? We would love to just buy it all out, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense on paper. And I don't think it would make sense for a whole lot of people to buy it at that price. So that's why we're just trying to solve the problem. Go ahead.
I kind of disagree on that, to be honest with you. Like, we have a fairly recent appraisal that gives us a pretty solid value on what people would pay for it. And so I think I don't agree that she wouldn't be able to get enough to pay back what she owed.
Okay. Well, it's also based on some of the work needed, right? We've also put a lot of money into fixing this thing up, and yeah, and I guess that's probably the biggest component I'm sure you weren't aware of, that like it needed repairs. And you're right. If it was fixed up and in great shape, you could probably sell it, but.
Yeah, I mean, whatever work you've done, I don't know, but that's kind of between you and her, obviously. But I just think that that's really the only option that we have if we're trying to, because like I said at the beginning, I don't want to foreclose, but I also can't budge on our loan agreement. I'm willing to work with Serena as much as I'm allowed, and we have been working with her, but we can't budge on those things. It's just not something that the bank wants to have on the books if it's going to be rented or if someone else is making the payment. Because it adds a lot of risk for us, because you have somebody that doesn't own the property that's living in it. And so there's a risk of more damage and stuff like that. And then also, if we ever have any problems as far as the loan goes, we're going to have to be calling Serena, and Serena might not even know what's going on because she's, kind of hands off at that point. And so that's kind of where we run into some issues. And additionally, when we originated this loan, we used a specific program for certain borrowers, and it allowed us to lessen the down payment pretty significantly in order to help borrowers in that way.
Got it.
So if we're changing the use of the property, that also kind of puts a ding in things as well.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. I love this loan product, by the way. It's a really cool thing you guys do for Wyoming buyers. I think it gets a lot of people into houses, and I think it's helped a lot of people. So anyway, I wanted to say that. I think it's pretty cool. Because do you do quite a bit of these, Zach?
We do throughout the Wyoming region. We do a lot. Yeah.
Got it. Both, because I know I've seen it less so on the mobile homes, but I've seen it a lot with like WCDA and other programs. Is this WCDA or is it RD, or is it a different program?
This is just our own program.
Oh, cool.
But it's very similar. Like we require it's income based or the location of the property, and we just allow them to only come with 10% down.
Okay.
And they avoid private mortgage insurance.
Oh, nice.
WCDA or FHA wouldn't.
They wouldn't do that.
Allow.
Oh, that's great then.
If they come up with 10%, then they don't have to pay PMI, and we'll still be able to do the loan for them.
Cool. Okay. Makes sense. Well, cool. I like what you're doing. Okay. So I hear what you're saying. So essentially, yeah, she needs to keep making the payments. Yeah. I mean, I guess on your side, if Serena is making the payments, do you see any other issues? And I agree. I think maybe it's at some point when we pay off here's the thing I'm thinking too, Zach, is if we are planning to completely pay off this loan. So maybe we just kind of kick that can down the road when we're ready. And in the meantime, Serena can just keep making the payments. And then when the time comes that she can sell it, I suppose you wouldn't have any issues with that, would you?
Well, we would, because she's not going to be living in the house anymore. And that's where we're coming back to the whole loan agreement, and the program that we gave her was very specific for her to live in it.
Got it.
And
but what if
I'm saying we need to if in order to do what you guys want to do, this loan has to be paid off. Like if that's the plan, to rent it to someone or to use it for any other purpose other than her living in it, then the loan has to be paid off.
Got it. So what do you guys do in situations where somebody has to move and they don't have enough equity to sell it and they need to move to another house? Like, people are they're just kind of SOL. There's nothing they can do. What if they're like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys do in those situations?
Well, we're very careful about not getting upside down on properties. That'd be the first thing I'd say. And the second thing is if they tell us that they're moving out and they want to rent it, we handle those situations, case by case, but we don't run into the situation where people are underneath their house.
Okay.
We try to be very careful with the mobile homes we lend on and the appraisals that we review and the loan to value and things like that.
Yes. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah. And I agree. If you guys are doing your job underwriting, you're keeping people in a good place. So that's good. And maybe that's just it. Maybe we have to try to help Serena be a one-off, and that might help, right? Like, we're not asking to do this forever, but I think she just maybe needs help if she can just rent it out in the short term until she can get this loan paid off. What would it take do we need to get formal approval from that, or do we just need to let you know our intent? Or
I mean, we can meet with my boss, but I'm just telling you right now, it's not something that we're interested in doing on this mobile home. Like, we don't want to be in the business of having renters in a home that is securing our loan.
Got it. Okay. No, I mean, I'm with you, but I mean, I get what you're trying to do,
but I'm just telling you where we're coming from, specifically mobile homes. Like if this was a normal home, that'd be a different conversation. But with mobile homes, not many banks lend on them in general. And we're one of the very few that do. And that's why we have such strict rules on it, because it is a higher risk loan. And that's why we only do it for people that are going to be living in it personally.
Got it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm just trying to help Serena out and figure out the best solution. So I get your perspective. You guys you don't feel comfortable having a tenant in there, but also the lesser of the evil is you guys foreclose on it. That's not good for Serena. That's not good for you guys. Really not good for anybody, right? So maybe it's something temporary, or I don't know. Maybe we just have to talk to your boss, but how do you think we best present this? Because for us to make it work, we got to have those terms, at least for the short term. But does that make sense? What do you think?
I'm happy to talk to my boss more, and maybe if I talk with Serena one-on-one more too, but likely it's going to come to, we need to figure out a way to pay this loan off to do what you guys want to do. And
okay.
So, whether that's ordering an appraisal to finding out how much it's worth, and then that way she can know where she's at with that, or we have to make some kind of plan to get this loan paid off before renters start moving in.
Okay, got it. That's fair. Okay. I would love to schedule a time to talk to whoever. Is it the president or your boss, or who would it be?
Yeah, it'd be the bank president. She would be my boss.
Cool. Yeah, I'd love to talk to her, and just like I said, I hope you understand. We're just trying to create a solution, and I don't think. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's more work for everybody if we just let you guys get your payment every month. I understand if you don't want to do that for the next 10 years, or I don't. Well, till the loan's paid off, but at the same time, if the loan's caught up and you guys are getting your payments every month, I don't know why the bank would want to, honestly, why they're having to waste your resources and their resources. But I would love to just present that to the president, if that's okay.
Yeah, I can see what I can work out. I'm happy to set that meeting up, and also before we have that meeting, if Serena, if you're still on, I would love to also have a meeting with you before that, and then we can discuss a game plan, and then have a meeting with my boss to see what options might be out there.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, let us know on that, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, one last question too is on the mobile home now. There's a lock on it. Is that your lock?
Yeah, we put a lock on it to secure it because we went in and did some repairs and some repairs to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. So, tell me more. Why do you ask?
No, you're good. We just noticed there's a lock on it. So last thing is, Serena, are you still on the call?
Serena, can you hear us? Maybe I'm not sure. Serena, I can relay it to her if you want. We might have lost her.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. I was just going to see when a good time to talk for 5 minutes was.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'll call her. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get back to you, and my boss is not in today, but I'll make sure I get an email to her, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Awesome, Zach. Well, hey, I hope I appreciate where you're at, where you're coming from. Just want to make this as easy as possible.
Yeah, 100%.
And I know you got restrictions. Banks I don't envy your job. You guys got a lot of restrictions you got to follow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be in touch soon, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. Sounds great. Thanks, Zach.
All right.
See ya. All right, guys. Lot happening there. A lot of components. Good. Thanks for all the comments. I was actually watching some of these too. I mean, here's the biggest thing. I agree that the land trust and all that, it works, right? But the problem is and I've seen this in Wyoming. I don't know if you guys see this in other states, but they're so dead set on, I kept referencing WCDA. This freaking bank, they will go foreclose on people just because it's written into their documents, even though it's way more work going to cost, even though it makes zero business sense to go foreclose on a loan that somebody's paying. They'll just do it because they're so passionate about these people not selling their house, right? But that's the problem, is they just don't want anybody living in there. And yeah, and you're right. He's a gatekeeper. Lots of thoughts were going through my head. I'll let you guys ask feel free to pop some questions in the chat, guys. But another component is, and thank goodness I lost Serena on that, is, we are buying it at a little bit of a discount. Who knows what the market really, I'm going to pitch that, hey, we had to make repairs to get this thing to be up to market value. He's going to go tell it at a price for this number, and she could sell it for more and try to blow up my deal. And the problem is it's sold, right? Like, I have a document saying I have a written agreement. It's a little bit sketchy because it's not a deed, because it's a trailer. They're actually it's a title. If you guys didn't know, when you buy mobile homes, you buy the title, you get a title. But this one's complicated because that title is sitting at the bank, right? The bank holds the title until it's paid off. So she couldn't sign that to me. So what we did is this is really getting the weeds here, but we did a power of attorney that basically said, once this loan is paid off, we could basically sign the title over back to us, and then we could go claim the deed, right? So yeah, you're right, Anthony. He did say if it was a normal house. I mean, he is right. Not many people will lend on these. Not so again, to be clear, this is a mobile home, not on the land. So there's hardly any banks that'll lend on something like this, and they do, which is cool. But yeah, it's just trying to reason with him. And then honestly, I know he's like you guys said, he's the gatekeeper. We just need to talk to the president and be like, hey, president, do you want to foreclose on this? I have a contract protecting myself to buy this. Anyway, I'm just a little bit concerned because if he wants to go talk to her and he's going to go tell her this thing's worth way more and tell her to go sell it to somebody else. But at the end of the day, this has been a good exercise. The loan is like $35,000. So, but at the same time, I don't want to go tie up $35,000 on a mobile home. Anyway, pretty complicated. What other questions you guys got? You're exactly right, Keith. Just like buying a mobile home, just like buying a car, a little bit more red tape. But yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah. So Sandy, back to the land trust. So if I go with the land trust, yes, but the problem is I think they're still, okay. You heard him. The guy went and checked on the trailer and saw there's a lock. Like that's the one bummer about these small banks, right? Wells Fargo has no idea what the hell is going on in Wyoming at this little house, right? But A&B Bank in Laramie, their guy is driving down to look at this, look at a mobile home on a $35,000 loan. Sorry, just baffles me. Like, do you not have something better to do at the bank than try to go chase down a mobile home? And I guess that's going to be the conversation with this president. Be like, are you guys seriously want to go allocate all your time and resources to a mobile home that's being paid? You guys just walk me in it. That's that conversation a little softer when we talk to the president. But good point. But yeah, I literally think the land trust, we could do all the land trust, go spend all that time and money, not too much money, but a little bit of time to set it all up. And then they're going to go back there and then they're going to be like, I mean, I don't know what recourse they have to go in and check on the house and prove that Serena's not there. But this one lender in Wyoming we talked about, WCDA, evidently they go and do inspections and go make sure that the person's living at the house. So anyway, this is a little bit of a different animal you guys are seeing, but cool. All right. Well, we got to call Chimney's guy here in a second.
We only have 20 minutes right now.
Sweet.
So I sent you the name and number in Boxer, and then I just posted the link to her house on the chat.
Yes. Cool. Perfect. Sounds good. Nick, really quick to answer your question. Yeah. So I didn't even think about this. It might be just cleaner for us to try to just wholesale this thing to somebody else because we got it at like 35,000 and just sell it to somebody else. But I mean, there's just such a market to wrap this type of deal because there's so many people that would love to live and have something, don't have a down payment, but I'm probably just going to have to sell it. Or honestly, I think I'm just going to play it slow and be like, what are you guys going to do? You're getting your payment. Are you really going to go pay your attorney to do all this stuff? But anyway, so good one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Let's work into a lead. So I'm going to pull it up right now, Chimney, and then we'll get up to speed really quick. So I remember this one. I need to give me the high level ones, Chimney, and I'm going to share it.
Yeah. So it's the house in Walnut Creek in California. It's the interest only loan. That's the, I think, 7.45%. So like it would only work as like a luxury Airbnb type thing. Monthly $6,000 loan that she's paying. She's in it, like her cash, like I think 500,000 or so. I know she wants to get it out if she could at closing, but obviously that would be for like a real sale, like a traditional sale. She's open to anything to kind of stop the bleeding. So
I do remember it. And we just really need to talk about okay, I got the numbers. I think it's on the sheet. Yeah, I remember it right because it's really about, because what's her loan amount again, Chimney?
910,000.
She's got a $900K loan. It's really based on the equity part. Really, I think that's where we got it. Because if we can get this, and you said it's $6,000 a month. That's just PI, is not TI, right? Do we know what it is all in?
It's that's 6,000.
Oh wow, PITI. But it's interest only, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that she says that's what she pays every month. I believe that's PITI. I could be right, but you double check.
Man, I wish I could find.
I told her you'd be calling her. Yeah, so I told her you'd be calling her, so she's
cool. Ready for yeah, honestly, I think I got enough. My conversation, guys, I'm going to focus on her equity, and basically, I want to get into this with low money down because, as I told Chimney, if we can get into this deal low money down, you guys are going to see this is a gorgeous house, right? Let me go back up to the photos. Like it's really nice, and it's not moving. And like you said, she wants to stop the bleeding, so we could stop the bleeding. We just can't give her a whole lot of money up front. Yeah. So Chimney, I'm going to call. Did you pop her number into the chat?
It's in Voxer.
Oh, cool. There we go. I'll go right there. I love it. Using Voxer. Thanks, man.
Yeah. I didn't tell her you're on a Zoom with people, but she knows you're calling and I'm listening in. So.
Okay. You want me to do like I did on the last one where I just say all our calls are recorded or?
Yeah, it's fine. That'd be
okay.
Perfect.
There it is.
Or if you don't have to say anything, you know.
Raki. Is that how you say it?
Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Thanks for keeping me moving, Chimney. I'd have went on that dude on sale for a while.
Hello.
Hey, Raki. This is Casey Gregerson.
Oh, hi, Casey.
Hey.
Wonderful. I was worried you might have problems getting through. That's great.
No, thank you for your patience. We're working on a couple other calls. I was just talking to Chimney, and Chimney can hear us. We actually record all our calls, so I just want to make sure Chimney can hear you. So
yes, I don't mind them being recorded at all, but they won't be used for any other purposes, I presume.
Yes. Well, we do. We use it for some. We use it sometimes for our training for our students. But anyway, we won't be sharing any of your information. So.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome. But okay, well, cool. Let's jump in because I know you've got another appointment coming here soon. Really, first off, beautiful house. Wow. This is like, I saw the pictures online Chimney showed me and I was like, wow, this is such a pretty area. And it's up in the hills, right?
Yeah, so actually it's on a flat level lot, but it has one of the last unobstructed views of Mount Diablo because a lot of the other properties are built up. So you're at the base of the state, you're at the base of the mountains, but it's actually a flat lot.
Cool. Oh, nice. Love it. Yeah, it looks gorgeous. We do a lot of things, right? We buy multifamily. I've got short-term rentals and long-terms, but obviously I think Chimney told you we'd love to make this into a short-term rental. And the beauty of that is like those ones are usually, and I don't know, when it's a higher end house, it's, I think the best way to keep it in good care, right? Because you've always got cleaners, you're looking at it. It's like, so short-term is a high touch business where we're constantly looking at it versus a long-term rental. You'll put somebody in there for a year and you can't go inside. So I don't know. I love this for short-term and also based on the location and just how nice it is.
Yeah, no, I really do like that model. And I think it would work really well in this kind of scenario.
Yes. Got it. Well, cool. Well, let's jump into the numbers. Here's the kicker, right? Like, I think absolutely we can take over your payments for it. I think we can get close to the purchase price that you've got it listed. But here's the kicker is I just can't, and maybe Chimney mentioned this, but okay, just being honest with you, I'll tell you exactly how typically we do these deals and how my business makes money. We make money based on what I can rent it for minus your payment, right? So if your payment's roughly $6,000 and if I can make $7,000, $8,000, maybe more a month, that's how I make my cash flow, right? But yeah, exactly. But if I go and put like 100K down or 50K, or I go put down a big down payment, then it just, as you know, the math, right? That's just going to shrink my return on investment. So we can do it, but I need to have a low down payment. And I guess the biggest question is, do you need all the money up front? So what I'm talking about the money is the difference between what you sell it for and what you owe. Because I heard you owe roughly 900,000 using round numbers.
Right. Yeah. Ideally, I would love to cash out because I'd like to take that money and do something else with it.
Got it.
But that is contingent on the period to which that money will be locked in.
Okay.
And what percentage of that money I can get back and what the terms would be to be locked in for a bit longer, Casey. So okay. I would be amenable to it. I do have some interest now. The price has come down and I definitely would not be recovering what I have put into the property. But in order to prevent me having to make these payments, it would obviously be helpful to find an arrangement. And I was really excited when Chimney said that you may have something workable because I'm open to everything. But those are the three criteria that I would like to know. What percentage can be given back? What would be the lock-in period? And what would be the terms of that for me? And then going forward, if we are able to kind of come to something that makes sense, I would be open to that. But I would just like to address your point about cash flow.
Yes.
So we had this listed with Mount Diablo Reality, and they came out and they were super excited because it is an A2 property where you can actually do some kind of investment or commercial or other activities, and you can keep horses. So even if it was a short-term rental, but you had the ability to have people have their horses or livestock here and had somebody take care of that, that could generate more income. And they thought the property itself in a very buoyant market could generate between 8,000 to 10,000 a month between the studio apartment and the main house, and obviously all the land. So that was the target. In reality, I don't think it has been marketed in the best way because people are just seeing it as a house, or they're going on Zillow and seeing the square footage and thinking, oh wow, that's a lot of dollars for rent per square foot. I think that if this is marketed in a way that really showcases all the advantages, that rental increase should not be too hard.
Yes, got it. Okay, that's good feedback. Yeah, me and Chimney were talking about this too. So I love, you know it better than anybody. And I know what you mean. So it's all about the marketing, right? And the way you position it, and especially in short-term rentals. The people who do it right do so good, right? But it is expensive to, you either got to have a top-notch person to run it, or, well, honestly, that's what it takes, right? You either got to do it yourself or pay somebody. So that's
I think it's also the concept. I think it would work very good. And I wish I could do this, but at the minute, I've got some health issues and things that are, kind of speeding up my whole desire to get this off my books. Otherwise, I would, this is just a gorgeous property. It's magical. I love it. And I bought it because I thought, I could keep it forever and do something with it. But I think short-term rentals in the healthcare or aging sphere, so their specialized short-term rentals could also be brilliant. This would really be appealing to somebody who wanted to bring their kids and do equine therapy or animal therapy or just nature mindfulness. So when I say it's all marketing, I think that it could be also made into a niche short-term rental market that maybe isn't just your traditional Airbnb. But again, that takes specialized knowledge and a special person to run that. So I understand how that, that adds to sort of the investment, if you like.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Really, really good points. And I might circle back to kind of what you said on the putting together some terms. This is so cool, Rocky, when you people are just open. This is, I don't know, I talk to a lot of sellers, and it's really nice when people just open up and say, hey, this is what's important to me, because then I can share with you. And if we can find a win-win, awesome. But if I just hate when people don't share where they're at. So thank you for being so transparent.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah. I'll just tell you our side now, right? So I kind of mentioned the cash flow part. Let me just start with this. This is all a moot point. If I know you guys just dropped the price, if somebody comes in and comes close to your asking, it's a moot point. If that happens for you, and I'm Chimney said he knows you, I hope that happens, right? But if it doesn't, this is when all this comes into play, right? Because I know you'd like to, obviously, ideally, you'll get cashed out, you could reinvest it. But the other option that I guess we're going to be able to present is, there's a chance we could go even higher on the purchase price than where you're listed and get you close to where you mentioned recouping some of that money. We could potentially do that but again, my big driver is low to no. I'll be honest with you. A lot of these houses, we don't put any money down. We just take over the payments and we go invest our time and start taking care of it, right? And I'm not telling you need to take that, but the lower the down payment, that's basically going to mean the higher the purchase price. And then I guess the other piece is your equity, right? I'm just trying to think. In a perfect world, I could actually pay you a little bit of your equity up front to where you'd make a return on that. Okay, let's use round numbers. If you owe 900, let's say that we bought it for 1.4. So that's 500K of equity. I'm not saying that's it, but on that 500K of equity, we could potentially make payments on it. But the problem is if the payments get too high, then I won't cash flow it, right? As you mentioned, we might be able to rent it for $8,000 to $10,000 a month, and the payment we're going to take over is $6,000. So I got to keep that lower because I got to cash flow, right? Which sounds like you're tracking.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think what really makes sense, because I've not come across this scenario before when Chinmay mentioned it, I thought it was really interesting and a really kind of a good way to go about something, because we both are able to get something out of this. So I think what I would like to know just basically is, how, when you're ready to put numbers down on paper, say, just what type of number would be, possible with regards to equity return with, in light of your cash flow making sense, and really the period. If it was something short term or if it was going to be more long term, then obviously that would have another impact. So just so that I could obviously figure out, if I sell at a loss and I get out, am I going to, in a way, gain more quicker than hanging on for another 5 years with having my equity locked in? So I guess it just comes down to the number and the duration, Casey, and how you would structure it. I honestly don't know how to go about this. It sounds like you've done these before, and it's something that you know how to do. So we'd love to just have something simple as in how this would work.
Yep.
And also the legal mechanism, like who would own the house, how would that work, you know, what the agreement would be. That would be super helpful. And I'm totally open to talking further about it once you have a better idea of what numbers you might be offering.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Great points. I think so. You're going to love this, Rocky. So we do what's called a letter of intent. It's a one pager. So that's what I'm going to take some time to fill that out. And either myself or Chimney is going to send that to you. And then you can kind of start to wrap your head around a couple options. And I want to give you at least two options on that, where, because our big variables are purchase price and the down payment and the monthly payment, right? Those are three things we can kind of play with. And the duration, you hit on this. So you'd be amazed. Sometimes people will do this for 10 or 15, 30 years at a time. I would say on average, people do it for 5, but I've done it as low as 3 years, to where within 3 years, let's say the number is 500,000 of your equity, we would have to pay that 500K back in a balloon payment. We could look at, again, ideally we go 5 to 10, but if 3 years is the only option, I want to put that in front of you at least. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. No, that makes absolute sense. And then, you know, all these, because technically it would be owner financed in a way.
Yes.
And, you know, what is the enforceability with that? What are the protections in place?
Yes.
To actually make sure that that repayment is enforceable? And I think that would then give, you know, a seller like me comfort that, okay, this is actually enforceable. And I can, because you can imagine we go into that kind of arrangement, you know, you're paying the mortgage, brilliant, you know, you manage to rent it out, you've got cash flow. And then when it comes to recuperating the equity, if I haven't got anything that has any legal teeth or is really enforceable, and I'm not saying that, you know, for a start, Chinmay is an absolute stellar guy, and the fact that you're working together just speaks volumes. So I'm not really, it's not that I'm worried about. It's just like, if I had to present this, just the property is held by a corporation. That's my corporation. But, you know, obviously I have to make sure that everything stacks up legally.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Yep. And that was the last one I didn't get a chance to answer for you, Rocky, is we'll go way more into detail because we do these all the time. The most common way we structure this to where you're protected is we would actually transfer the deed at closing to us at the same time. And this is all through a title company, right? This is not a handshake, and it's not even just like a signed agreement. We go through a title company, and the title company records it all. And if there's any sort of down payment, they'll handle that. But what would happen is you sign the deed to us. We would give you I got to check California if it's mortgage or a deed of trust, but that would get filed at the same time. So that way, let's say we agreed to 3 or 5 years. When that time comes up, you would have recourse. You would be recorded at the county, and that way you're protected to where we can't. That's ultimately your protection, right? Is you're going to be listed on the county records.
Yeah, so basically it's like a lien or a...
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
You would be a lender. So you would your lien would be behind, obviously, the first position is your current loan, and then you'd be behind that. And that way you're protected.
Got it. And so insurance companies, not insurance companies, sorry. I need another coffee. Mortgage company. So say, for example, I have the mortgage with the the current company. The deed gets transferred to you, but the mortgage remains in my name. How did they see that?
Yes.
Is that not a variation of the contract that I have with them?
Yes, that is a $1 million question, Rocky. People ask it all the time. Man, we could go for 30 minutes on this, but I'll give you the high level. And the fact that you're asking these questions, I don't know, most people don't even think about this, or you know what? They think about this at like a week before we're closing, but it's okay. So the way it works is we got to look at your loan agreement. At the end of the day, if the lender is getting paid, they're not incentivized to go really do anything, because a lot of the language and a lot of these mortgages do say, hey, if you transfer the deed, they could call what's called the due on sale clause, right? But it's probably happens less than 1% of the time. And when it does, and I can walk you through this at any point, but we've got some good mitigations, because I'll be honest with you, Rocky, we've probably done in the last couple of years, I've probably done 10 to 15, maybe 20 of deals just like this. We've even had it a couple of times where the bank actually had an issue and we had to work through it. So there's several different mitigations if the lender actually did care. Again, 99% of the time, they don't care. If the payments are being made, they're happy, because they're not in the business of foreclosing, and they don't want to own the house, right? They want to get paid every month.
No, it makes sense. And if they're still first on the property, then that absolutely does make sense.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, I know we've run over our time. I really appreciate you taking the time to put this together and to present it, and also to Chin Mai for the introduction. Definitely it's something that, my whole outlook to life is that, there has to be options A to Z and then Z plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go beyond, because sometimes life throws you things and you don't always have immediate solutions. So this is a very interesting, viable, potentially solution, and I'd like to consider it further. And I'd look out for your LOI and see, what the sort of general terms are there, and how that might work for both of us.
Yes. Love your flexibility. Again, I keep going back to this. I talk to so many people and I explain this, and people are so close-minded that they can't see past. You said A to Z plus, they can't get from A to B. So I love how open-minded you are.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in life, I've seen that A, B, and C sometimes isn't enough, and you have to go through the whole alphabet and more to find a solution. So brilliant. Well, it was really great to talk. Like I say, do not mind the call recorded, but just because there's personal info on there, I would ask you both just to be mindful of how that's used. I just want to be protective of my own situation. Yeah, if it doesn't have to be used for training, I'd be happy. But I understand, because you explained that in the beginning.
Yes.
So yeah, and going forward though, would our sort of communications be confidential and privileged to that extent? Because I'll be very honest, I think when you're making arrangements like this, I think it's important to kind of be assured that there is confidentiality in the paperwork, etc.
Absolutely. Yeah. So today, like I said, how about this? Future calls, it'd just be either me or you or Chimney. And today, anybody, and I'll just let our students know that might listen to this call, we'll make sure it's confidential. That's honestly why typically I dive deeper into like your mortgage and all the numbers, but today I didn't want to do that. So, but yeah, when we dive, I'll give you my commitment. In future conversations, it'll just be us, and we'll keep that confidential.
Thank you, because that really, that is important, especially in any type of exploration of business dealings. I think it's really important because it opens up different levels. And I think when I put my lawyer's legal hat on, I'm like, okay.
Yes.
I think it's in, that it can open up potential avenues. Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm really happy we spoke, and I'm grateful for the time and the thinking and for the introduction. So we'll keep talking.
Absolutely. And we will get you, either myself or Chimney will get you the LOI, and let's let you look at that, digest it, and then we'll kind of take it from there based on your feedback.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Casey. Thank you, Chinmay, and we'll speak soon.
Okay. Talk soon. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. See ya. Cool. That was an interesting one. I swear they're all different, right? I will tell you this. When I invest in Wyoming, in Montana, I don't talk to a whole lot of sellers that are that sophisticated. If you guys have been to Wyoming or Montana, you can understand exactly what I'm saying. One thing I just put there at the end, that little black swan, if you guys have heard Never Split the Difference, one of the best negotiating books I've ever read, by far my favorite. If you have not read that book and you like closing, read that book. It's unbelievable. I mean, even just for the entertainment factor, it's good. But he always talks about, you got to uncover the black swan, right? Every negotiation, there could be multiple black swans, but something that comes out that is a big driver, right? I may be exaggerating that she's an attorney as a black swan, but it's a little piece of information that now that we know, Chimney probably knew that, but I didn't know that. And now that explains how she's thinking. It explains how I'm going to present things. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting into all the little parts of sales and closing, but just psychologically understanding. That's why I mentioned about my cadence, which again, very hard for me to go slow, but I appreciate you guys let me run and she just running with it. And empathy, right? Like being complimentary, all that different stuff. So anyway, that was a cool call. What questions, you guys, anybody have any? Chimney, I'll let Chimney go first.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. Thank you so much. That's really helpful call just to listen into. And then also I want to help her kind of get this sold, because she's like extended family. So it's like an extra step that it's, helping somebody out that I've met before, and she's open to everything, which is awesome. And she's open to, obviously her first choice is to sell it on the market and get her money out. But I was wondering what kind of and you kind of touched on it a little bit where you said oh, we can pay you out in 5 years or 3 years. You never really touched on a monthly payment or like a payment of the equity. equity? Would it be just down payment now and then a balloon at the end, or would she get interest on her payment? Would she get monthly payment for her equity?
Yes.
Kind of was wondering
Yep.
how you structure that to make it work.
In the meantime, if anybody has a deal, please raise your hand. Oh, wait, I know John had his hand raised. I'm going to let John go for a second if you have a question now. And then I want anybody else to bring any deals. If not, I'm going to spend some time just showing you guys how I'm thinking about these numbers, because I think that's half the battle, right? Is the underwriting. But John, did you have anything, or you want to go after that?
No, you answered my question.
Oh, I did. Cool. Awesome. And anybody else, though, we're going to have 30 minutes to still make a couple calls. So if anybody has a call, I'm encouraging now, text your person, see if they're free, and I will call them. It feels like every week I got to pull it out of you guys. The last hour, I'm like, come on, let's call people. I think Keith brought me that deal that we're still working. It was one of the best ones ever. Brought me on the last half of the call. So if you guys have a call, bring it up now. Oh, somebody else. One other one I just want to give a shout out from last week. I'm looking at my notes. It was a really good one. It was at the very end of the call. Oh, shoot, I'm going to forget. It was the house in Austin. We're still working it. Anyway, another really good one. So guys, be thinking of teeing up a couple calls because we got 20 minutes. But let's dive really quick. So I'm going to go back to my underwriting and answer Chimney's question. So week 9. So I'm just going to show you guys kind of the quick numbers I'm thinking about. So the monthly payment is $6,000 a month. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. We need to find actually, I know exactly who to find and from HostCom, but we need to find a rock star. Here's what I'm going to do is she says 8,000 to 10,000 a month. Let's just call it 8,000 a month conservatively. That's 80 for the cash flow, right? That we could rent it out for. The cool thing about HostCon and some of the connections there is like they know how to go pull comps, and they can dial this in and get us a pretty good revenue number. So, right, this would be our rent, or we'll call it our revenue. This is our payment, right? And then our other big variables are let's call it, she wants 1.4 million. She wants a little more than that, and then she owes 900,000, right? Again, guys, please don't share this with anybody. We did give her, I wanted to acknowledge it on the phone call. Goes without saying, don't share any of these numbers with anybody. I won't be sharing this Google sheet. But anyway, this is our loan amount. And then this is potentially our purchase price, right? So here's our equity is right here is the difference. So we need to, what Chimney's asking is how do we figure out this payment? And again, this is all going to be put into the LOI. We're going to show her a couple options. So 500K of equity. And then right now the cash flow, I mean, guys, I'll be honest, that's pretty skinny, like 2,000 a month to go do a high-end Airbnb in California. My hope is that when we talk to some of the short-term rental experts that they say this thing is worth more like 10,000 a month, maybe 10. I mean, I have a feeling you could probably make 10 to 15,000 if you really did it right, but we got to figure out what's conservative and just do a little bit more on the numbers. And then once we know that, that'll allow us to kind of make a little bit more of a educated offer. But anyway, I think, I'm thinking option 1 is basically we give her a purchase price. Like, let's just say we give her the 1.45 million. As I mentioned, guys, if she gets another offer and somebody comes in at full asking, it's a moot point. Right. I think, and this is good for you guys to know, she just did a significant price drop. Whenever you do that, you get a flood of people coming in, making offers, right? But a lot of times that happens and then it peters off. So this is more of a negotiation about a week or 2 from now. And the cool thing is Chimney knows it really well. So there's no pressure to get a deal done. So I would be patient. If somebody comes along and buys it, great. But anyway, so this would be offer price and then you take over the loan. But then I would say with her, so that'd be 550,000 of equity. I would just tell her, she seems very bright, obviously, and understands our drivers. I would just tell her, hey, that 500, I'm going to try to get this thing for no money down. And in the way that I'm going to, okay, our dream scenario is it's like no money down. And this 500,000 comes, we would say, oh, we'll pay this in 3 years. I'm going to give her, I'm just thinking out loud, guys. I'm going to give her multiple options and let her kind of pick and choose what's more important for her. Because I think if I could convince her that, hey, like I'm going to show her the credibility and be like, hey, here's all the properties I've done. Here's all the sellers I've talked to. Like, and that's something I've shared with a lot of students. When you guys are in a situation like this, I just send them to I've got a list of YouTube videos and I've got like a testimonial collage of like sellers who've done this situation. She might not relate to them quite as much because some of my sellers are selling $200,000 or $50,000 trailers in Wyoming, right? But not all of them are like that. But anyway, I want to show her the credibility, right? Because when it comes to the down payment, they've really got to trust it because she's going to think she's smart, right? She's going to be like, well, I assume this is what she's going to think. She's going to think, if you don't give me any money down and you take over my $1.4 million house, how do I know that you're not just going to walk away at some point and stop making my payments? And I could justify that with, well, if I do that, I'm going to be furnishing this thing, the house, it's going to be better than when I left it. And then at that point, it's my word, right? That I'm going to take good care of it. But that's where I'm going to use my reputation. I'm going to say, hey, go talk to all these other people who we did the same thing with and ask how professional we were. Another thing I learned from Pace years ago, it's like, you just got to You gotta show them what you've done. And this is not easy for somebody who's just starting and you don't have a track record. But the other benefit was we have Chimney. Chimney knows her, right? They have a relationship. Sounds like it's some sort of distant family. And that's where I would just say, hey, I want to do this right. And there's got to be a little bit of trust it. Because guys, the thing is, if we put a big down payment down, I think it's going to kill this deal. Again, I don't know California as well as some of you guys do, but I want to get in this with low money down. And if we can get in with low money down, then we can definitely go wholesale this or market it. And we're going to have to make sure we find the right person. And Chimney is going to be involved in that to make sure we wrap this to somebody that we trust that's going to maintain and manage this house. But I got really deep on that. My point is, if we can justify to her that, hey, we're taking over your $6,000 a month payment, we're stopping the bleeding, we can stop it in like a month, maybe 2 weeks if she wanted, and then tell her in 3 years, we're going to give you $550,000. And the thought is rates should drop within those 3 years and we should be able to refinance, right? And get out of it. In the meantime, we control the asset. We should be able to cash flow. I should have started here. This is a very advanced and risky deal. I would not, if you're a new student, I would not touch anything. I'm scared to touch this, and I've done a ton of deals, right? Just because it's such a high price point. But there is a win, right? I think there's a ton of people who have become very wealthy from California real estate that they just held, right? And a lot of times California real estate, they don't even cash flow. They lose money, but they're just betting on appreciation. So anyway, I think it's a little dip in the market. And I think you're smart, Chimney, because this property might be worth a lot more. I think it's definitely worth a lot more if interest rates drop. But go ahead. I just went really deep there. But I would give her a couple options to finally answer your question. I would give her one option is the 550 comes in 3 years, no payments, no interest, and say, but I'm giving you your full price offer. And it sounds like she's a lady that probably doesn't need all the money. I know she'd like to reinvest it, but she's just going to have to make the decision. Do I go sell it at a discount? It's the time value of money. If she values that, like, let's say that she could sell it for 1.2 million. Say she could fire sell it for 1.2 million. We're offering her an additional 250,000 in exchange for getting the good payments. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So one thing on that price, and maybe we can talk offline if we want to get into the numbers, but that 1.45 is a drop from the initial asking of 1.6. And her hope was that it was like priced lower and it would sell for higher than that. So maybe to entice, I know Pace talks about this on like seller finance deals, that you could pay even higher than what the asking is. But maybe if no payment, no interest, would you go higher than that 1.45 of its current asking price?
I think so. I think we could. I mean, as I think about this, I think this is it's honestly a better lease to own option to where she's more protected, and she's an attorney, right? She's going to dig into, because the problem with transferring the deed and she gets a mortgage and we put no money down, like then she would have to foreclose on us. If it went sideways, it's not good for her, right? Because she's got to foreclose on it. She's got not a lot of equity. All we would have done at that point is made the payments. But I like the lease to own because we could take over her payments immediately. It gives us some flexibility, especially if we're not putting money down. And then I think it could work then. Does that make sense, Chimney? And then because if we're not putting a big down payment, go ahead.
Lease to own would be a long-term renter, right? Not a Airbnb or a.
You could do it either way. I mean, okay, the only difference with really lease to own, or we could go contract for deed. Contract for deed would be better. I don't know what California calls it, land sale or whatever. Wyoming calls it contract for deed. In that scenario, we would just take over the payments. We would be protected. I mean, okay, contract for deed is way better for us because on a contract for deed, let me talk to that a little bit more. So on contract for deed, we're protected because a deed is going to be signed. So that way, if we perform, let's say we set this up to pay off in 3 years. When we perform in 3 years and either refinance or sell it, we don't have to worry about, like, we have a contract for deed signed and it's typically held by a third-party escrow company. We're much more protected. If we go lease to own, technically we can, that lease to own is a legal agreement we could enforce, but it's a little harder to enforce, right? But the lease to own, you don't have to just do long-term. We could totally do short-term with lease to own. It's more of a lease option. I'm saying that incorrect. It would be a lease option or a purchase option to where October 1st and take over payments and start making payments October 1st. That might be, knowing that she's an attorney, that might be a better way. I'm going to go through a couple of these questions. I agree, Sandeep. Underwriting, I do not like underwriting based on STR. But I kind of wonder if that part of California, if you even just went long-term rental, you could get, I mean, I would assume long-term rents are $8,000 to $10,000 a month. If you do short-term, I assume you're getting like $50,000 a month. But again, we got to go dive deeper into it. But guys, I don't do it. I would not recommend underwriting your deal to where it only pencils if it's an STR.
So
that's it. People have made money.
Go ahead. Underwriting for long-term on this one, there's actually, so the main house is that square footage you see on Redfin, that 14 or 1300 or whatever. Then there's a guest house, which is another additional 1 bed, 1 bath that you can rent out separately. So for short-term underwriting, you have both, I guess you can calculate both incomes.
Got it. Okay. So how much total would that be?
I'm not entirely sure. I gotta check market
That's
rate.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
either way, guys, we'll keep underwriting this. My thought is next step, I'll just share this with you guys really quick. Let me go back to sharing my screen. And then I got a couple questions I'm going to answer for you guys. But here's the next step, because we talk about LOIs each week. I'm just going to open one of these LOIs and I'm going to go in here and give her a couple options. I think I saw a couple comments. Somebody made a good point. I think it's key. Too many options can confuse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do option 1. For example, it might be 1.5. Let me just really quickly demonstrate, guys, how fast this goes and like how we put out offers very quickly. Literally, when you get my LOI, you guys are going to make a copy. Here we go. We're going to call this, we'll just call this Chimney. Misspelling your name. Anyway, I'll edit this more later to keep this moving, but I'm just going to make a copy of this and I'm going to send an LOI. I'm going to go update all the address and all this, but my initial thoughts is this is just shooting from the hip without thinking too much. 1.5 million down payment. I wouldn't even mention it. Well, sometimes I just don't even put a down payment in. She's smart. So I'm just going to put down payment $0, flea payment 0. And then basically within whatever, 36 months. And then we need to update all the county stuff, but we basically filed a mortgage. Balloon payments will be made on or before this date. So essentially we're giving her 1.5, we're putting no money down. And then I would put her loan assumption. We're assuming it's 900,000, 900K. And then we're going to make her monthly payment of 6,000. So guys, this is literally all I do. And again, I go clean this up a little bit. And then closing date, I would say less than 30 days, right? And then my second option might be, okay, what if we get her, maybe we give her 1.4 million, and we give her 10,000. I did these backwards, but typically my second option is where I put no money down because you can see I don't have the down payment. But this one option might be with 10K down, or maybe we offer 25,000 down and then monthly payments of $1,000 a month, right? And then at least she can be thinking about, well, what's really important to me? Is it getting 25,000 down, or is it me getting my full purchase price within 3 years? I might even give her a third option where we give her more time. But again, not too many options on the first one. The whole point of an LOI, guys, is we want to get her feedback. We want her to be able to see this. And this LOI is built out with some credibility, right? It's got links and videos to where people can, oh man, we also have some stuff on capital. This template I had doesn't have the capital gains. Typically, I talk about how they could save money on capital gains, and I've got like a table. If you guys have seen my template, you'll get that I'll give you access to. It has it. Anyway, I just want to show you guys quickly. I know I talk fast, but I just want to show you how fast these LOIs can be done. And then we're going to get the conversation going. So Chimney, let's take that one offline and I'll help you put together an LOI. Sound good?
Sweet. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Likewise, man. Thanks for bringing that lead.
When she first came to me and told me about like the details about it, I was like, damn, there's like no way I know what to do with this. So like I definitely need somebody to partner with that has all the connects and knowledge and stuff. So, and last week when you mentioned HostCon, I was like, this is perfect. I think you probably have connects from there, or you probably want to take this, so something like that. So this was super helpful. Thank you so much.
Yes. Awesome. You bet, Chimney. Yeah, cool, man. I appreciate you guys connecting. I'm going to share all my social media links so you guys can connect, see what I'm up to. That's the beauty that's why I do it, right? I share what I'm doing because I like connecting with you guys and helping people. And Chimney made a good point. Like we can look at these deals. Thomas Rivette, going back to your comment about how do I leverage me closing deals. Guys, I'm happy to help JV on any deals. It's if you guys, again, go to problems, literally spell it out, problems2profits.com. You can go there, fill out the form. I'd love to JV on any deals with you guys. What I mentioned at the beginning of the call about the challenge, the PACE just started. So if you guys go sign up for that challenge, I'm going to be helping close deals there. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions, I'm going to put all my information down here in a second. You know what? I'm going to pop my email in here, but feel free to send me anything there. And again, if you guys want to go deeper, I'm going to add you to Voxer with my team and we can help out. But let me make sure we answered all the questions. Yeah, there we go. I love it. Nick, good. Nick's had a good one about the bunnies. Love that. Here in a second, I can share the template with you guys. You know what? As far as the template on the LOI template, until I get it on my website, guys, I'm going to go make a post in sub 2 after this. If you guys can go tag somebody and comment and go like it, whatever I want. The one today, I really want to find a clip of talking to the due on sale because first off, was that valuable today, guys? The due on sale conversation?
Absolutely.
Good. I'm glad you guys like that one. And again, it's going to go deeper and maybe I'll try to record my call with the president. We'll see how that one goes. I don't know if we'll do problems to profits on that one. Yeah. So I'll get you guys that template we talked about. Cool. All right. Well, we got 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any? We do have time for one last call if anybody's got one. And if we don't get to all of them, I would love for 3 people to send me deals and then we'll do some of them next week. Or I'll help you guys. We can start them sooner than next week if it's a hot one. All right, Thomas. Yeah, Thomas, let's for sure connect. Cool. Any other ones? Any other deals? All right, guys, come on. Somebody's got to have one. Oh, yeah, there we go, Cynthia. Of course, we can call an agent. Oh, that's another question I saw. People ask about direct to seller. I do both, right? But my business is really built on direct to seller. I invest a ton of money in it. Yeah, but I think it's good. I mean, I think direct to agent is a great way for all you guys to start. And we've done a ton of direct to agent calls on Problems to Profit. So you can always bring them. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for coming in, man. Yes. And we could try Brent too. Oh yeah, Brent. Yeah. Brent, Brent, you can come off mute for a second. What, have you talked to him? Catch me up. I haven't been able to catch up on that one. Daryl. Sorry if I called you Brent. Brent's the seller. Daryl might be trying to get off mute. Hold on, Ricky. Let me go back to this. Ricky, did you get your question answered? If not, go ahead and unmute.
Oh, I would just want to ask, bro. This is my first time jumping in on your Zoom. Just want to know, when we bring you prospects or we bring you leads that we already talked to, how this working? My other question is, I deal with wholesalers. I got an email for the wholesaler bring me leads. And do you do them too?
Yeah, man. Ricky, thanks for coming in. Hopefully the community could answer that question. It is all the above, man. If you want to bring leads that you're trying to, I mean, my goal is Brent or Ricky, I want you to take that lead as far as you can, as far as you possibly can. And then when you get stuck, bring it to Problems to Profits and we'll help close it. Right. Like and that might be, hey, I just got on this guy and it's my first time calling and I wasn't even sure what to say. Like, I'm happy to go it from that base level. Right. And also mention, if you want to just help me cold call and just start talking to sellers, I've got that option for you too. But man, I'll meet you wherever you're at. And if you just got deals that you want to pass along, then I'm interested there too.
Yeah, because I partnered up with the clever investor, right? He wanted me to be direct to sellers on majority of my lead that I bring to him, because he got over 1.2 million buyers. And I'm just looking for some sellers that I can get hooked to. I started my wholesaler generation, like wholesaler outreach, back in 2018. I'm just trying to get help with that too. So I'm kind of a little bit everywhere, but I'm trying to niche down though in Jacksonville, Florida. That's my goal.
Nice, man. Good, Ricky. We'll keep working on it. And man, I know you're new, so tune in every week. And
it is every day or every Friday?
Every Friday, same time. So I'll give this to Ricky, to everybody. Man, I challenge you guys, make some calls, get to talking to some sellers, get to where you get stuck. And then again, I guess all you got to do, guys, is go to problemstoprofits.com, go down to the forms and fill it out. And then your lead will work first, just like we did today with Chimney. And was a great call. And I loved it. I mean, my goal, guys, is ideally we'd make like 5 or 6 calls during this one. So please bring those.
Okay, cool. I got you, brother. Thank you.
You bet, man. Problemstoprofits.com. I'm just putting the link in there so you guys have it. Cool. Maybe we might have lost Cynthia. Did anybody else raise their hand? Jennifer, go ahead. I thought I saw you there, Jennifer, today. How are you?
Yeah, hi, how are you? So I'm stuck, but it's not like because I can't negotiate with them. I'm stuck because I'm dealing with this guy in a pre-foreclosure and he's dealing with a lawyer and wants me to talk to the lawyer, but the lawyer, is kind of, so I don't know how to get around that.
Got it. So you can't, was this one of the ones you brought already or?
No.
Okay. So got it. So they won't wait. Oh, I swore we talked to one where we had to talk to, that was a different, oh, that was the one in Florida, right? Where we talked to they're like, hey, talk to the attorney first. But that was a different one. Is it the same one or different?
No, it's different. It's in San Antonio. I only call San Antonio.
Okay. Got it. Oh, that was a different seller. They all blend together. So, So you're stuck. Okay. To recap, you're just trying to figure out how do you can only contact the attorney and you can't get a hold of the actual seller is what you're saying?
No, I got a hold of the seller. I can't get a hold of the attorney.
Oh, got it. And what did the seller say? Why they wouldn't give you what you needed, or where'd you get stuck?
He didn't know. He was like, he went into a big, just like a big explanation as to like how many of relationships he'd had and the woman that caused the trouble and all this stuff, right? So he didn't know any of the information. Like, my attorney's dealing with it. I don't know.
Got it. That's a good one. And I've seen it all the time. It's like as soon as the attorney gets involved, those guys are the worst follow-ups. They are so hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, so I don't know if I should just walk away from it or.
I mean, it's going to be a challenge, but I mean, if there's a deal there, I would keep going because think about that. Every wholesaler or investor is going to be hitting that same block. And if you can hustle and get through the block, then you could get the deal done, right?
Yeah, it's a potential deal. I mean, if I can get some information out of him,
Yeah, what information are you missing specifically?
Everything. Like, not the address or anything. I can look all that up. But like, I think his ex-wife is on the deed, but I really don't know how far behind they are. I don't know, like, if he even wants to sell it. and if he will have to sell it.
Okay.
Or any of that.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm tracking. Here's what I would do. That's a great question. I would just talk about the terms that work for you, right? Think about we're kind of talking hypotheticals when you're on so if I'm talking to him and we're talking back and forth here, I'm saying, hey, Jennifer, you're the seller, right? What do you need? Like, can we make numbers like this work? Like if I gave you X amount, if I gave you $50,000 and took over your mortgage, whatever the numbers are, like give him the deal that makes sense for you. Be like, if we could do this, assuming all the legal stuff is taken care of, are you on board with that? And that's where I would do is I would try to get his buy-in.
Okay.
And then I think I froze again, but if you can get his buy-in, then I would send him an LOI with or I would plant the seed to figure out what he wants, then send him an LOI. I mean, get his agreement at least, and ideally get a purchase contract, send him a very vanilla, a very simple purchase contract. And then,
but I think his ex-wife also has to sign it.
Yes. Oh, good point. But I'm with you. But you want to get something signed, because if you get something signed, then I'd send it to the title company, because the way you can't bypass him, but the way you could get movement is get terms agreed to, get them signed by him. I agree. It's not going to be enough to hold in court, but then send it to the title company. Title company will start doing all the searches. Then they could start getting payoffs. They could start looking up that's part of their job, and they'll go do that work typically for free, right? Deals fall apart all the time. Then when the title company's reaching out to this attorney saying, hey, we need a payoff, we need this, then he should get moving. So that's what I would do.
Okay. All right. And I have another one like this as well. Another one where there's like a joint ownership and one of them is not cooperating.
Got it. Sorry, who was not cooperating, you said?
So there's the mother and then the daughter-in-law both jointly own this property. And the mother is ready to sell. She's like ready to get out of it. She's on board.
Yeah.
But the daughter-in-law is difficult to get a hold of. I've texted with her, but I've never received a text back from her. Like she told me to text her, and so I did, and then she didn't answer. So apparently nobody can get a hold of her. No one.
Yeah, you're right. It's tricky. Again, I would not. So if there's not much on this deal, I would not chase it down, because it's going to be more than likely a waste of time. But if it's a good deal and you're the one that hustles, you could get it. So it'd be the same advice. But the only difference would be, you just got to get creative on how you get a hold of this person. And then you got to find the black swan for that sister or mother or whoever won't talk to you. Be like, well, what will motivate them to actually want to get this thing sold? And who knows?
I mean, usually it's money.
Yeah. And honestly, money talks, right? Say, hey, I need you to help me with this. Yeah, there's a lot of good ways to get creative. That's what I would do.
Well, thanks, Casey.
You're welcome. Good questions. Those are good. Again, good example. I know Ricky asked what kind of problems. That's an outside of the box problem, but that's all we do every day, right, guys? Solve problems. That's what makes us closers. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to wrap up. So a couple things here. Please, please, please. I'm going to go share a little clip from today. Talk about that due on sale. Please share it with other people. Because guys, next week, we highlighted Ashley today. We highlighted Keith. We highlighted Sandeep. I want to highlight 3 new people next week. Again, I want to talk about somebody who's been doing cold calling. Somebody's bringing deals. All right. I don't know. The leader in the clubhouse might be Chimney. We'll see. You guys keep bringing deals this week. And then, somebody in the community. Every single one of you guys, we're going to end with this. Every one of you guys can help me out with this. Is go find more people to invite. Go post about this. Whatever you learned today, like whatever your biggest takeaway. If we had more time, I'd ask you guys to share it. But what I'd love for you to do is go share it in the Facebook group. Tag me, tag some other people, tag anybody you can think of, and try to get more people into this Zoom. So, because as you guys know, I know I pound this drum every week. Guys, I just want to be able to help more people. I hope you guys understand how genuine that is. Like, I want more people on here helping. And if you guys can help me with that, the way I'd love to return the favor is help you guys continue to network. So we'll be picking 3 more people for next week. Come on and share a little bit about themselves. So guys, go out and hustle. And I'm excited for next week. I'll share my links really quick one last time. Do I buy for closures? Yes, I do. We'll buy. I'll look at anything, guys, anywhere in the country. Yep. If you guys haven't yet, go to the Facebook post, tag people, share it with anybody else. I'm going to put the links to all the forms, just in case you guys don't have them, because the chat's going to go away here in about 10 seconds. So go to the Facebook group, search my name, search Problems to Profits. You'll see it. And I'm going to post, if you guys missed out on that LOI template today, I know a lot of people had that. Go into there and I'll be able to get you guys a link to that. And again, share this with everybody, and excited to see you guys next week. Thanks, guys. Hey, we're actually out on 1 o'clock. We're out on time today. You're welcome, Victoria. Staying on track. Thanks, guys.